won my Paralympic Gold medal in 2012 in front of 80,000 people at London Stadium, 5.5 million people. But after success, I really struggled.
Richard Whitehead.
Richard Whitehead. Richard Whitehead. Richard Whitehead
Is the Paralympic champion. It's a new world record.
He defends his Paralympic title.
Whitehead, gold for Great Britain. He's unstoppable at 200.
And Richard Whitehead is once again the Paralympic champion.
Crossing that line, you won. Life changed.
I remember lying on the track thinking, fuck, this is finished.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's when things like burnout and anxiety and moments of depression and feeling isolated. I've only ever worn my Paralympic gold medal once, and that was on the...
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
But I walk down the street and I get people stare at me. To the extent I think out my shorts. I've had it a lot where people like video me.
What?
On phones, and yeah, lots.
You look emotional, like.
I suffer discrimination every day. And even with young kids, like I've got 2 children that go to school, I'm walking my kid to school, and you hear like...
But was there a massive part of you that then got left behind?
You have to be ruthless. You can't half-arse anything like that. It's literally all or nothing. If I sat down with somebody and they said to me, how did you win that Paralympic gold medal?
Richard Whitehead, welcome to the heart of it.
Yeah, I'm here now, full of energy.
Before I always start a podcast, I always check that I've got to pronounce someone's name right, because I mean your name seems pretty easy to pronounce. But I have done it before when I'm
Have
like,
you?
I've said a few things and gone, whoops.
Yeah.
So Richard Whitehead,
Yeah,
MBE,
Yeah, that's
not
right.
OBE. MBE.
No,
So you,
MBE,
again, that's something you could make a mistake on because someone typed the wrong
Yeah.
thing in the research or something.
And that obviously it's down to obviously the success that I've had in my life, getting the obviously member of the British Empire Award, but that's more. I talk about kind of my parents how they really supported me in my upbringing, my life as a young person with a disability, and also the people of Nottingham, my MBEs for those individuals that have supported me up to this point and continue to support me. I'm not into self-gratification really. I'm not driven by those monetary moments of wealth. I don't think they bring you happiness. I look at all the proud moments I've had in my life, those happy moments I've had in my life, and they're all down to I've had to work for them. I've had people around me that have also bought into that process, and out of the other end, I've always looked for a sustainable impact with that. So it's not been just a gold medal, put it around your neck, thank you very much, go and enjoy that. It's been that gold medal moment. Now promote those gold medal moments to people that actually need those.
Before we start recording, you said you've done the podcast scene, you've done lots of shows.
Lots of podcasts, yeah.
So people probably know you, and if they don't know you, maybe I'll ask some questions like I don't know you.
Yeah,
I have
for sure.
no idea about you, your background.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are.
Yeah.
I've introduced you as an
Have you got
MBE.
no legs?
But I do know that you were born with no legs.
Yeah, that's right.
So walk me through. That's actually not even.
I like that.
I didn't even mean
You've
that.
got no hands.
Hand me through that.
Yeah.
You know, you're born. Obviously, you're not aware of that at that moment.
No.
What age did you realise or were told that you were different from other kids in that way?
Yeah, when you have a physical difference, or you are different in society, I don't think as you're growing up, you're not socially or physically aware that there's anything different than yourself or your peers for a long time, until society then puts those barriers and obstacles in front of you. So around preconceptions of what you can and can't do, and not giving you the same opportunities as your able-bodied counterparts. And probably when I was, obviously my parents knew that these barriers and obstacles would definitely come my way, because there wasn't an inclusion spectrum in the 70s and 80s. But I physically probably started to realise when at junior school they weren't allowing me to access things like physical education, because I was wearing prosthetics, and they didn't have the foresight, or they didn't have the skills or experiences to understand that it's about celebrating difference. It's about empowering people through adversity, and they definitely didn't have those experiences. So they were putting barriers and obstacles in front of me because of health and safety, because of not understanding that this young person, talking in the third person, the young person should have the same opportunities as everybody else. It might take a little bit more time, or we might need a little bit more support to enable that person to be successful in their own right. And that success might look completely different than everybody else's, but that young person needs to and deserves, and his human right is to be included within every activity. And probably that at that stage, I realised that that there was going to be some challenges in my life that would take a lot of time to overcome. And when we talk about accessibility or lack of access, sometimes we look at those physical challenges, obstacles like steps or hills or financials. But for me, it's more changing people's perceptions of what's possible, and changing people's real perceptions of that we're all human and we all deserve the same opportunities in life.
You're obviously fantastically media trained because you speak really well.
I'm not. It's all like literally. The reason why I speak how I do speak, it's because emotionally I'm very attached to what I say. A lot of the things I talk about, or everything I talk about, is very authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
But also, I've had a lot of people around me that I've learnt from, and I've been a sponge to. Obviously, kids when they're younger, all kids are sponges, and I've tried to kind of keep that as I've gone through life. Having people around me that add value to who I am. So when I've put my athletics team around me, I've looked at not only the point where they are now, but also where they could grow to in the future. And when I go and talk to performance teams or talk to management teams about how to grow teams or how to be effective within their management structure, I always talk about think beyond now, empower people to bring extra skills and experiences to the workplace to enrich the workplace to be better in lots of different areas. And that's what I've done in my life. So when I put those teams together, I don't always go, oh, well, actually, I really like that person. That person's kind of fits with my look and feel of my team. I go, actually, that person can grow with me. And I'm wanting to grow as a person. And in those real difficult moments where I want people to be authentic and be kind of critical with me and feel confident in doing that, and that person can do that. I don't want people to be yes people with me. And I think that's really important in life.
I completely agree. I get like back to what you said about people looking at you a certain way, whether it's disability physically or not.
Yeah.
I think I've learned more and more people look at me and are scared of me. And I've been told this, and actually really recently, that apparently if I'm not smiling at people, I look quite angry. And I'm like, I thought I looked like a kid. I thought I'm happy to go like friendly person.
And that's that kind of mirror, isn't it? That people see of you, and that's really interesting, because as a young person with a disability, I really struggled to smile. And people thought I was quite grumpy, and people thought I was like quite hard to engage with and speak to. Very similar to what you just actually said then. And communication's key. How you communicate with people, and understanding how people communicate with you, but also that the other person you're trying to communicate with needs to be aware that they can express their feelings and thoughts towards you to get the best out of that conversation.
But that's again communication, right? And the teachers or people around you at that younger age, you're so impressionable. Like you said about being a sponge, I was.
Yeah.
I remember probably as 4 or 5 at primary school, one of my first memories, where I first remember, now looking back, that I realised I was different. Like super autistic, clearly ADHD, and they didn't know that really then. I was born in 1992, so it wasn't even that long.
Yeah,
only 33. I now think back to like how many things were missed in my just in my education and how I was labelled naughty or couldn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And like now I look like a semi-normal person in society. But if I look like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
people would be like, you're weird. I'm very autistic in style, take things super literal. I have to like literally think really hard about what people are saying to realise they don't necessarily mean what I think they would mean from that literal language, as an example. So thinking about how you must have had judgment, stigmas, and then that they create a reality of the world for you that's not actually your reality of the world. Like you said about limitations, the health and safety, this or that. You're already feeling not able, potentially probably to do, but then probably want to have the opportunity to do. And
and those perceptions of what my life would look like in the future were from somebody else's eyes and not my own. And that's when I meet young people now, I understand that everybody has trauma in their life, whether it's like for mine, it was through living that trauma as a young person and living through discrimination, or whether it's through accident, illness. When I meet young people now and then look in their eyes and see obviously those real layers of pain and anxiety, I try to give young people hope and aspiration and work them through that process, just like you would as a counsellor or somebody that's a mentor or teacher. And because I'm a person with a disability, I've got that level of empathy around disability and some of those challenges and obstacles. I also know with the work that I've done with my foundation, and also the massive amount of other work that I've done in the disability community and other minority communities, we don't know everything. But if we're willing to learn and make those mistakes and be in those vulnerable spaces, you gain those real layers of experiences to be able to pass on about the importance of equality, diversity, inclusion, and how that makes a better world. Like yourself with a hidden disability, there's a lot of people out there with impairments, challenges and disabilities that feel isolated still because one, they don't know themselves, or the wider world doesn't empathize around their difference. And for me, having a disability or having a difference in society, we should celebrate that. We should celebrate difference. We should celebrate the difference of thought, and then also challenge what is so-called normal in society, because I actually feel that everybody in society has a challenge or obstacle.
Amen.
And the one thing that connects everybody in society is disability, because we will all have a debilitating time in life. And if we haven't got the skills, if we haven't got the tools to be able to enable us to get through those moments, that's when we're stuck in time.
Completely agree. I think it's an interesting perception. You said about everyone has a disability, potentially.
Everybody's got a barrier and obstacle, for sure. Yeah.
I think, is there this positive discrimination? You know, people talk about positive discrimination. I think there can be. I don't know about physical disability, like potentially you're talking about, but certainly people put things on LinkedIn that talk about, like, this is my superpower.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I only talked about it to you just there because I feel like you'd understand me more as a person quite quickly if I just give it a couple of labels that you recognise those labels and go, I can understand why you might be like that. Versus like, it's fucking a bit weird. So I use it as a bridging tool.
It's a connection, for sure.
I don't write it in the tagline.
No. No.
It's just, I'm me.
Yeah.
You're you.
Yeah.
Ash there. So Ash obviously is from Pakistan. I didn't actually know because his skin's changed from vitiligo. That's correct, isn't it? Vitiligo?
Yeah,
Alopecia.
My skin changed a few years ago.
Yeah. I didn't actually know Ash wasn't white or brown. I didn't actually think about it. When someone said to me, you know Ash is from Pakistan? I was like, no. So obviously you've got a physical disability. His face clearly looks different. I don't think about that stuff. No. I was brought up, and my nan had a place in Kenya. So I literally spent a lot of time in my childhood around, obviously, Africans. And I didn't understand. I just thought they were black because the skin would burn them, because I got told that when I was a kid. Yeah. And I never knew all the other stuff that goes on that people thought. I just thought, well, what's the difference between him and me? He lives on the beach and I don't. I
think the real problem within society is the comfortable spaces that we live in some cases are not are not kind of breached and explored outside that comfortable space. So, for instance, after I won my Paralympic Gold medal in 2012, I had lots of opportunities to have like a charity and organisation, but I didn't feel that I'd be able to represent a wider community because I didn't have the experiences to be able to fulfil that kind of real responsibility that I felt, not only to disability or like my family or Nottingham or Great Britain, but also like humanity. And so I really made a conscious note for the next 10 years to go out there and work with lots of different minority groups. So homeless, humanitarian. So I worked in places like Syria, Jordan, Nepal, with like conflict, with like companies and organisations and charities like MSF, Doctors Without Borders. Also worked in America for a year on a camp. Worked with LGBTQ plus communities, BME communities, just to find out some of their challenges, obstacles, what life means to them, what this intersectionality kind of real approach means to them. And what I found was, one, life's really important, which I knew anyway, but I wanted to kind of feel that from a different perspective, and that we all have challenge obstacles that are really debilitating to people, whether it's anxiety like third world anxiety, first world anxiety, whether that's relationships, whether that's partnerships, and without having people around you that give you that hope and aspirations and give you that real vision, or seeing is believing, so people around you that are real mentors, role models, then life is really tough because you're having to negate a lot of these challenges with blinkers on. And that for me has been a real kind of eye-opener for myself. And people also think that because I've got a disability, I know what being blind is, or autism, or those perceptions are there. And I'm trying to say, actually, I've got 2 children that have autism, but I don't know what having autism is like for myself. I know what it is like as a third person, and I know what people with vision impairment say to me about what it's like to have a vision impairment, but they're different to me. They've got different challenges, obstacles. And as a person with a disability like my own, a double leg amputee, another double leg amputee would have a completely different aspect in life, whether it's they've lost the legs in Afghanistan or through cancer. They might be older or younger than me. So everybody's unique. And that's where, for me, this real change in the dial around putting people into boxes. Oh, you've got a disability, you've got autism, you've got ADHD. Everybody needs to be treated as an individual and supported through that process of empowering them to be better.
And you're talking about, young people, certainly disadvantaged communities as well. You've mentioned there as well. People make mistakes. I think, like, we found some people yesterday whilst doing content. You mentioned the homeless. We came across a shop in town that doing some work with, like some content with some homeless guys. They played a football game in a league, 5-day football, 2 days ago. And we've just said to sponsor them, get them kits, because they got asked not to come back to the league. So we were like, this has got to be we were speaking to this homeless guy yesterday. Amazing what they were saying. But he was telling some stories that are unsuitable to repeat.
Yeah.
And like, I think boxes, he was talking about that, the judgment, the stigma. You mentioned a few stigmas. Not everyone's the same. Even if they've got the same labels or different labels, everyone's experience, even if they have the same disability, like you just said, everyone's experience is absolutely different, and everyone should be treated as an individual.
For sure. And like you say, we all make mistakes. We all have trauma that we go through. Also, sometimes those mistakes carry with you. Like people that have obviously fallen on hard times and maybe fallen by the wayside regarding criminality. How do you rehabilitate? And I think as long as you're wanting to be rehabilitated and wanting to be supported, or have people around you that can see hope and aspiration within that person, and having positive role models, and then creating those positive behaviors with people. But again, going back to kind of that that starting point of being a good communicator with people and giving people time. I remember having a conversation with a person that was homeless quite a few years ago, and it was in London, outside Costa, and I walked up to Costa and thought, oh, I'll just offer this guy a drink. Do you want a drink? And the only thing he wanted just to talk. It wasn't he wanted a drink, he didn't want money. He just wanted to be able to talk to somebody that would give him the time to kind of, and obviously fallen on hard times himself and like family, and you're just having that conversation, I think, and having somebody give him the time really was an enriching moment for him. I didn't want to do that for myself. It was like, I just felt obviously somebody just needed that time. And I think that's how, in some cases, well, a lot of cases that I found, that we can tackle discrimination. So, for instance, as a person with a disability that you can physically see, I get a lot of people that look at me. Incredibly, a lot of people. Like, I talk to a lot of my Black and Asian friends about discrimination, and then I say I suffer discrimination every day, and they are astounded into like, so actually explain to them how I'll walk down the street and I get people stare at me. Not stare at me and go, oh, that person's different, or he's got like technology. They will stare to the extent I think my willy's out my shorts. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those moments where I think, is this something hanging out my shorts here? How
does that make you feel when people stare at you like that?
Well, probably before the Paralympics, it was something that really did piss me off.
Did it?
Yeah, and it made me quite angry. Yeah.
What when you say piss you off and make you angry? What? Because let me ask you the question first, and I'll tell you what I think. What pissed you off about them looking at you like that?
It was because I'm different and because I look different. Then it's a label. It's a label. So then people are like identifying in that difference. And I know a lot of people that are in wheelchairs, and a lot of people with that have a disability such as dwarfism have exactly the same kind of perspective, where people look down on you, people like pass judgment. And I think the best way of tackling that kind of approach is eye contact with that person, and then I'll that eye contact means that I know they're looking, and then give them a smile, and then engage in that conversation.
Did you feel there was a judgment when they're looking at you, that you were telling yourself a story that they are thinking this, that, or the
rest? I know straight away. Yeah, I'm quite good at like being able to kind of understand where they were at point A and where they could be at point B with me obviously opening that conversation. And even with young kids, like I've got 2 children that go to school. I'm walking my kid to school, and you hear like young kids going, oh yeah, look at that man, he's got robotic legs, or look at that man, he's got those legs. Well, why has he got those? And the parent being too embarrassed to actually go, well, go and ask him, or he might have had an accident, or let's go and address that conversation, address that so-called, because that then builds from that opinion of that young person. It's actually not okay to be different.
Yeah.
And it's not okay. And that's going back to that, what I was saying about my Black and Asian friends. I then say to my Black and Asian friends, imagine you going to the Co-op or Sainsbury's, and somebody's in there, I don't know, you're getting your breakfast cereal, and a little kid goes, oh look, there's a black man over there. How would you feel? Would you be okay with that being not addressed? And they were like, no fucking way.
I've got an 8-year-old boy, and other one as well. And we were talking to, he's potentially autistic, and he was asking, because he was describing another kid at school. He was like, the one with the, and he was scared to say brown skin.
Yeah.
And we obviously tackled this, like, so talk us through this, because it's a description. Yeah. He said, what's the difference between description then and when the bad words? And we said, if you tell people that you don't like them because of that, people have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But being descriptive about people, that's just a characteristic of it.
Of course it is, yeah.
That's what I thought, exactly the same as what you just said. If you start saying, don't ask, then they think there's something wrong with having robotic legs or having brown skin or being looking like that or going to those places, which then becomes more of a stigma.
Yeah.
Versus, but that is that getting the adult? Is that because the adult hasn't been told or communicated with, or?
Well, obviously, like the discrimination, you're not born with it. It's learned behaviour, and a lot of it's through.
But do you think they mean to be discriminated? If someone saw you walking down the street, I would think,
as an adult.
Yeah, as an adult now, if I saw you, if obviously didn't know who you were, I'd be like, cool, like you've got robotic legs. I'd be looking because it's not common. I wouldn't see loads of it.
But with your communication, you'd make eye contact with me, and then
I wouldn't be like,
I know.
I'd make it look like I'm looking at you.
And
like,
I've had it a lot where people like video me.
What?
On phones and lots.
Because of who you are, or before who you were,
because of my disability, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So and I then take that as like, imagine if you're a woman walking down the street.
Okay, there we go with this.
So, and that's and again, as somebody with a disability, I then look at not only Richard Whitehead, I look at the community and go, is that right to do that? So I have to then go, look, if you want to ask a question, ask the question. Like, you can't just be doing that.
But then people will be like, why being like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I know.
You're videoing me in the street.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who's...
Mate, I get a lot. And then if I'm out with people and I'll go, just look at those people over there. Look at those people over there. And they're literally, as soon as they open their eyes to the world that I live in, they don't understand how much happens every day.
So that when you were younger, did that bring like a sense of anxiety that everywhere you'd step out, people are going to look at you and then continue to look at you, not necessarily say something, potentially record you?
Yeah.
That's massive height of state of anxiety. I don't like it when people look at me when I'm not doing anything weird.
And I think also then, if I'm wanting to be authentic, and this is me being authentic, showing my disability, wearing shorts, if I'm wanting to remove some of that anxiety, it'd probably be easier for me to wear like long trousers and then maybe just have a different kind of walking gait. And then people go, oh, that person's maybe had an injury or whatever, rather than them go, actually, it's a double leg amputee. And then going back to what you said before about some people then utilize that platform as like this woohoo superhero thing, which I've never really gone down that. I think for the able-bodied community, they like to see people of difference as like, wow, you're doing world records, running marathons, gold medals, you're a superhero. I'm just utilizing every part of my skill set and trying to be the best person I am doing.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from the Paralympics and you being a Paralympian, but I think it's fucking cool to win a gold medal at the Olympics. Full stop. Because I'm not going, let me ask you what it's like to do the Paralympics. I'm like, so tell me what it's like though, when you cross the line and you win a gold medal. And you're a disability person. I'm like, just win a gold medal is fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah. And in front of 8,000 people at London Stadium, 5.5 million people on Channel 4. And I still get people talk about that a lot. And it's fantastic. But more than just the actual gold medal, it's about, that was like a life's worth of work.
How long did that race last?
Like 24 seconds.
24 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was your life's work.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you look at that and it's one of those key moments in my life for sure. And I won that gold medal when I was 38. So yeah, I'm 48 now. Yeah.
Are you really fucking hell?
Yeah.
So your life until 38 then, because obviously you started at the beginning of that start line.
Yeah.
And then 24 seconds later, your life
changed. Yeah, for sure. I think after that 24 seconds, probably the recognition I deserved for everything that I'd done previously was starting to, like, on the front of every national paper. Like lots of game shows and all television stuff, all that bullshit.
But that is some serious delayed gratification.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it still happens now. Like, disabled people don't get the same. Like, Olympic athletes, able-bodied athletes do not get paid the same as disabled athletes do. Don't.
More or less? As in you get paid less?
A lot less, yeah.
Is that because of views?
I work harder off the track and road than probably anybody else that I know, just to get the rewards that I feel I deserve.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So
What is the idea? I have no idea about the
sponsorship
financials of
yeah,
sport.
sponsorship, also appearance fees for things like events, and it's all different. Yeah, I think
So like if a speaker who'd won a gold medal in an able-bodied competition,
yeah,
they get paid significantly more
Yeah.
than you.
yeah,
So how does that make you feel again? That's another like kick in the face.
yeah.
Right?
It's like self-worth, isn't it? Yeah, but I know I'm doing a good job. I know what I want out of life. It's not about the money. It's about that when that audience sees me, that they get a takeaway that changes their life, hopefully.
And what do you think? What do you think that takeaway is? If you distill down that 24 seconds down into one takeaway, that 38 years later after your birth, you won that gold medal. What do you think that takeaway is?
Probably perseverance. And everybody in life has gold medal moments, and it's about when you have that gold medal moment, whatever it looks like, you magnify it. You don't keep it yourself. You want your legacy to be sustained, and you put that out there. And I'd never say that I was lucky. I've worked so hard for what I've done, and I remember that 200 meters like it was yesterday, and obviously it wasn't. But I know I had to step up to the plate, and every time that I compete now, I always show up. I always race as if it's my last race. And I got to that start line and just said, let's just, don't fuck this up, was my first thing I said before the gun went. But also just kind of show people what you're about. It was never about a gold medal. It was about kind of showing the world what I'm personally about, and hopefully people gravitate towards that.
And what does that look like into the training? I've seen people have heard, probably you and others, talk about Olympic 4-year windows.
Yeah, it's definitely more than 4 years. I'd say, well, they say it takes 8 years to be a Olympic or Paralympic champion. I think for me, it's, like I say, 30 years of my life. I think you always bring something to the party that's very unique to yourself. And over those 36 years, I've had so many different experiences of positive reinforcement from some great role models, as well as some negative stuff that has really kind of made me quite, I don't know, quite resourceful and resilient. And then when you get to that start line, you're expected the camera's like roll, you're expected to be the best form of yourself. And it was a real relief going through the finish line winning.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all about a process. And whether there was one person there or 80,000 in the stadium, it was about just, as somebody that's in business, just kind of having your best day at work. And that's my best day. I always talk when I do my presentations about imagine what your best day of your life is, and what it smells like, and who's around you and who supports you. And then I show you mine, and I show people that for 200 meter race. And it's maybe not my best day of my life because I've got 2 kids, and just being at the birth of your kids is the best. But I think being able to deliver that when so many people had said I wouldn't be able to, so many people said that because I was 38, I was far too old. And I wanted to change the perception of what is possible from a person, and not be judged by a number, but be able to change people's perceptions of possibilities, whatever environment you come from. And hopefully, because of my performance, people saw that and went, I can do anything now.
Did you do visualization, like you just said about smelling the
I do visualization for like most stuff, yeah.
Did you do that before you won?
Yeah, so I did it for about 4 years before.
Did you really?
Yeah, so every time I'd go out for a run, I'd visualize like what it'd be like in the stadium, and what the track would be like, and who would be there. But I'd never visualized going through the finish line. That was all on the day.
That was the first time mentally you went through.
Yeah.
We'd run the race thousands of times.
Yeah, thousands of times, literally thousands of times, yeah. And when sportsmen and women say that sometimes mentally you're more drained than physically, that was probably me. Physically, I could run that race. I could run it straight after that. I won it and maybe even run faster. But mentally, I was just so shot after because everything went into that. And athletes are very chronological with their process. So I'd have like a 4-hour window. Even now when I'm doing marathons, I have like a 4-hour window. And in that 4 hours, I'll be plotting everything from what I'll eat, who I'll see, who I'll speak to, my warm-ups, my stretches, my final thoughts going into first call, into final call in the stadium, what I'd be kind of thinking about, and then all the way up to kind of going to the start line and then delivering my performance. It's exactly, and for me that just really works because it enables me to take control of the situation, but also there's a little bit of flexibility there for some curveballs as well.
Yeah, I used to be a competitive bodybuilder, so I understand the routine, the structure, the visualization. And then 2 years ago, I did an Ironman 70.3 and then trained for the full distance Ironman 2. Never done any cardio really before. I was a big lump. And so I completely understand, completely different from obviously the level you're at. But I can definitely understand it becomes your life. Like even for me as a complete amateur, obviously bodybuilding I took very seriously, but it becomes your entire life. It becomes your identity a piece as well, massively. And especially then obviously on a global stage like you were. Crossing that line, you won. Life changed. But was there a massive part of you that then got left behind because all of the things you'd worked towards and all the things you were trying to achieve were achieved?
Yeah, because I'd worked before. I'd worked as a secondary school teacher for 5 years. I'd done all these other things in society. Worked with all these different communities before I'd kind of got to that point in my life. I felt I was really equipped for those moments. I know a lot of athletes that do really struggle with what after success. I've only ever worn my Paralympic gold medal once, and that was on the podium. I choose to have those moments that are very in the moment, and not kind of try to be kind of
That's interesting, right? Because you said everyone has their world, they're the golden
moments,
and then you don't really celebrate yours.
Yeah, I did obviously 2012, but for me it's like I'm still striving to be better. Personally, physically, emotionally.
Are you not enough as who you are?
No, probably not. Probably, I think a lot of people say I've done so many like incredible things. Like loads of people say, when are you retiring? Yeah, I never retire from what I do. My purpose is bigger than sport. It's bigger than like Richard Whitehead. It's a bigger purpose, and I think I kind of known that by some of the work that I've done in like the third world countries and coming back from places like Zimbabwe where I just ran a marathon. You meet people that you think, yeah, I need to do something about this. And
does it personally bother you? Like you look like you pull towards this purpose.
I don't know. I think it's a gift, really. It's like
in a good way. I'm not saying it's bad.
No, I think it's
you look emotional. Like you just realised that. I think you caught what I caught at the same time. You say about gold medal moments, and then you don't celebrate yours. And I asked you whether you think you deserve it or could you do more. And you're like, yeah, I think you could do more.
Yeah, no, I always challenge everybody to do more in their life, whether that's in the voluntary sector or just kind of giving people more time. Sometimes we're just all caught up in our own lives, aren't we?
Are you caught up in your life right now?
No. I'm just, everything's like, I've probably got too many balls to juggle. I probably I probably sometimes need to kind of take a bit of a backward step and go, yeah, this has been like incredible. Like, kind of celebrate that a little bit more. But I also understand that time's precious and we don't know how long we've got on this planet. Anything can happen. So why leave any stone unturned when you can kind of really commit yourself to a purpose that you believe in? And I definitely do. It's more than me. It's more than being from Nottingham or being from Great Britain. I think there's people out there that really do need my support, and whether it's one person that I've inspired in my life or thousands, I'd have done a good job if that one person kind of takes on that path that I was fortunate to have parents that really guided me through some of those early challenges.
What are you not saying?
What am I not saying? I don't know. What am I not saying? I think I'm probably not saying that. Yeah, there's still so many like challenges out there for people with disabilities.
What about you personally? Like, you not celebrating, even though you said, yeah, I celebrated in 2012.
Yeah,
You're clearly achieving massive things. You're clearly influencing and impacting millions of people every day, all the time.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
But you must be. You just told stories of. You must be. But then you still feel like you've not done enough, or you're not enough of what you have. But you also time's precious. So it sounds like you're in this battle between these two.
Yeah, because I'm probably the person that challenges myself. So I'm my biggest critic for sure.
So what do you think about when you look in the mirror right now?
I'm grateful for who I am and what I've become, for sure. I'm a better person now than I was 10 years ago. I'm a lot more positive, but then also I'm probably at the stage where I've got so many things going on. I've got like my marathon challenge, I've got my foundation, my corporate work, and then obviously my family as well. Have I really got a balanced lifestyle? Probably not. And do I need to re-engage with that? Yeah, probably. I probably need to at some point kind of sit down and say, actually, now I've done so much work for others, just kind of look after myself and my family, and again change that dial a little bit.
And you feel like you're potentially giving a lot out to the world.
I give a lot, yeah, for sure.
But like what's coming back sometimes home is
yeah, that pisses me off a lot as well. It's like for instance, I get a lot of people ask for my time, but like I said, obviously time's precious, and you know that people don't value it. You know what I mean? It's like, can you come and do this? Can you do this? And I'm going, yeah. What about me? Yeah, it's amazing how many times, as a person of influence or person that people can reach, it's amazing how many times people will reach out to you and say, I can do this for you. Because it's very few. Very few.
If they did reach out and said they could do something for you, what would you want? What would you ask for?
Holiday. Yeah, holiday, probably. I think, personally, I think it'd be that time when I can be with my family and like close off the world. Like for me and my legacy and what I'm working towards, it'd be to have a platform where I'm able to have a bigger, greater influence on people's thought process in Nottingham, the East Midlands and Great Britain and all over the world around navigating some of these problems that I talked about discrimination, about disability, and then also working with me around some of these solutions. So for instance, some of the real problems in education at the moment around SEM provision, having specific SEM provision in Nottinghamshire that really does create those opportunities for young people to have the same enrichment as everybody else, which we haven't got, and get rid of all that like governmental bullshit around like it's all about money, and it's like it's not. It's all about people. As soon as you lose the perspective that it's about people, you've got some real challenges. And so that's what, obviously, education-wise. Participation-wise, I want more people to be moving, like getting people up on their feet and kind of like working on the physical health, mental health, working on like removing some of those anxieties by like communicating with people. If you've got a problem, if you've got a difference of opinion, just kind of talk to people about it. I love speaking to people that don't think like me, that maybe have a completely different point of view. I want to listen to people because I want to know how they got to that point in their life that they thought that was right to think like that. So participation, education, and then employment. I want more employers to be more reflective of the community that they serve. So have more women in high-level positions, have more people with disabilities in CEO roles, have more teachers with disabilities that children, obviously the leaders of tomorrow, can aspire to be. And they're probably the things that I'm really passionate about. So obviously personally and professionally, it's two different things.
What's the one most important thing to you in your life right now?
Wow.
This show is a Podfirst production. Podfirst specialise in cinematic, high-quality video media production and podcasts, including projects such as viral social media content for business owners and entrepreneurs, internal communications for organisations, and charity incentives like Homeless FC. Managing and directing the project from start to finish. So whether it's pre- and post-production, branding, guest selection and booking, set design, social media strategy, marketing and management, the list continues. Whether you're a business owner or an organisation, Podfirst is here to help you to achieve your objectives and your vision. If any of this sounds like you, then you can visit Podfirst at www.podfirst.com. That's www.podfirst.com. What's the one most important thing to you in your life right now?
Wow. It's definitely not like the sport. It's definitely not sport. Because that's more about personal fulfillment. Obviously kids, family. I'm not bothered what people think about me. Like I try to do the best that I can do. I think sometimes people are governed by technology and that front facing, like TikTok, Instagram, X bullshit, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like that's like a lot of it's manipulated AI. It's all fake anyway, fugazi or whatever you want to call it. For me, it's I think get up in the morning, be grateful for who you are, be grateful for the people around you, and then hopefully do things with a smile on your face that have that lasting legacy.
You mentioned your kids a few times.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Yeah, 10 and 12, Zara and Andrew. Great kids. Obviously with my sport, I'm obviously that's time away from my kids, but I'm lucky enough that as a professional athlete, I'm able to put them into bed at night, wake them up in the morning, have breakfast and dinner at the table with them, and I think that's precious. As that there's not many like fathers and mothers are able to do that every day, and those moments are precious as well, aren't they? They're precious to have for sure.
You mentioned your kids a few times, but you not mentioned your wife.
Yeah, no, I think our relationship. Well, we're not married. Our relationship with me and my partner is that she has to give a lot for me to obviously be where I am, and maybe I don't appreciate that enough.
Do you actually not appreciate that?
Maybe not. No, maybe not. Because obviously there's got to be give and take within those relationships. I do appreciate it for sure.
That's what I meant. Do you actually not appreciate it?
Yeah. No, enough. Yeah, enough. Yeah. And I think that's the same with like all relationships you have as a high level achiever. If you don't have that appreciation with your partner, your parents. Do you know what I mean? This is all. It's kind of. Yeah, and also because of time as well, because you kind of other things kind of get in the way when they shouldn't do.
How many things got in your way of your Olympic training and the way into the games?
Everything.
How many things got in the way of it?
Oh no. So that was the main focus, and it has to be.
So you decided on.
I was selfish, proper selfish. Like you have to be ruthless.
Mhm.
You can't half-arse anything like that. It's literally all or nothing.
Did you do that with your family life?
As in
prioritize it 100%.
Yeah. So have time away and and maybe that's something that again, like athletes, professional people, sometimes they negate because of they go into that kind of very ruthless
channel mind.
Yeah, for sure. And
how do you break that? How do you stay like a high performance person who's foundation and helping people and running marathons around the world and be a dedicated family man?
Yeah, it's tough.
Balance.
Yeah, it's tough.
All of it. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's when things like burnout and anxiety and those kind of moments of depression and things like that, and feeling isolated, and even when you're in the public limelight, even when you're in front of the camera, there's obviously some lonely moments, and the family's always going to be there, and those people that are thrusting those microphones and cameras in your face aren't going to be. And I think it's that real appreciation of those relationships is so important. And I know obviously like my parents have done so much for me in my life, and sometimes as they get older, little things start to annoy me and piss me off about them, and I just need to kind of look through them and really kind of go, actually, look what they've given for me, and how I need to be supporting them through some of these moments now, because like you just alluded to, not only just for 2012, that 8 years before that Paralympics, I had to like not necessarily sacrifice, because a lot of my friends and my family sacrificed things for my success. I prioritise that opportunity, and then I look back and say, what if I didn't prioritise that, and that moment didn't happen?
What's the answer to that? What if?
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't be as successful professionally, for sure.
Do you feel that's your pull to now go and do as much as you possibly can to impact with the profile you have because of the sacrifices you and others have made to get there?
Yeah, I think so. I also think that, imagine having a once in a lifetime opportunity and you didn't take it. And I just said that there's no way I could not take this opportunity, and it wasn't an opportunity that I was given. I had to take it. The story behind it is that 2011, I went to World Championships in New Zealand. I was a 42nd person on a plane. I needed to go there to win, to be part of this program for 2012. The race before my World Championship race, I snapped one of my blades on the track. Had to get new prosthetics.
One of your blades means one of your pieces.
One in prosthetics. And I remember like lying on the track thinking, "Fuck, this is finished." So then had to get new prosthetics sent to me from England to LA to Christchurch, where I was racing. Turned up a couple of days before. I raced. I won in New Zealand, and then started that kind of successful train towards London 2012. And then it was really kind of as about delivering that performance that people started to realise that I was actually a good athlete. And because of that, I was starting to think, right, I can plan my future here. And not just financially, but just plan my future of what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. Even though I was 38 years down the line of my life, I think a lot of young people want it now, and it's like those moments happen at whatever point in your life you are in life. It's always believe you're going to have those moments, and those moments are so powerful. And sometimes you don't realise that it's your time, but you just have to embrace it and leave no stone unturned, and really magnify that opportunity by having people around you that really care about you as well. And I've definitely done that.
Sounds like you've had to fight.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Yeah,
literally
not
everything.
physically. I'm not a fighter.
But every other way.
Yeah.
Literally your entire life.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And those moments of like being, said no, or have those challenging obstacles put in front of you, you realise that there's a reason for that.
Do you think that you're still fighting now? And obviously the fighting's got you clearly very far, but you still feel like you have a mask or an exterior fight out now versus if you were to surrender? Or do you feel like you have surrendered into what's next for you?
No. I think there's always fights to have, and it's about choosing those battles. And also having people around you that aren't oxygen thieves, as I would say, just draining my battery. And a lot of people can be. And you taking on their fight as well. And I'm not into that. For me, it's about kind of PMA, positive mental attitude, having people around you that come along with the journey. So you're driving your own bus and people are passengers for that. And you don't want to be on too many other buses because it just drains too much energy. And I definitely choose them wiser now than I used to be. Quite an angry person. These people don't appreciate me. These people, why are you taking this off me? Why? You know what I mean? That kind of. And I always thought it was like a disability focus thing, where it's like, oh, I've got no legs, fucking hell, all that stuff. And it's not. It's just like I think people just have that.
People are just cunts.
Yeah. People are just like those. People are. Yeah, there's nothing like focus, Muhammad, I'd just say. And I gravitate towards certain kind of people, and even though I'm open to those conversations where people think different to me, I always think, right, I've got a purpose now. I've got a vision. I know what I want to do in my life, which is I want to make social change.
Mm-hmm.
I want young people that have got challenges, obstacles, to understand that they've got hope and aspiration. I'm not just solely focused on disabled people. It's just about young people realising there's hope and aspirations out there. And also when people do reach out, that I give everybody time, whoever they are, whatever they want.
But you did say earlier on, people reach out and want something from you all the time. You said, what about me?
Yeah.
You obviously came here to spend time with me.
Yeah.
What made you come here when people are always asking for your time?
I'm selective. No, I also think it's a great, the ability to communicate is a great platform, and people need to understand that yes, it is give and take, but also I'm a proud man from Scotland, from Nottingham, and I want to support obviously people from Nottingham as well, because I think this is like the birthplace of where I'm from, and also I think there's a lot of work that I still need to do in Nottingham, and there's a lot of talent here as well, and if I can be part of that mentoring, nurturing process.
Sounds like I got a performance coach for the new Homeless FC football club that we've sponsored yesterday.
and I enjoy challenging myself as well, and obviously like your conversation with me has probably challenged me, that I'll take away some of those challenging moments and be very reflective myself.
Who rings you? Who do you ring for support? Because obviously people have taken a lot from you, and you obviously said you've been selfish in your pursuit of success.
Yeah.
But when you spoke about that part, I wondered, because I've been successful, and I've also had moments in my life which have obviously gone very wrong. People are there when you're successful.
Yeah.
They are not so much, as you already alluded to, when you are not. And
No.
it is a very lonely, as you already said, place, because people don't understand. And obviously they wouldn't. They wouldn't understand you from
No.
your lens, and they'll certainly wouldn't understand me from mine in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Who do you speak to when you're feeling depressed or anxious or worried or scared or fucked off or anything?
Yeah, so I've had obviously moments where kind of things have been tough, and mental health and physical health, I think for anybody is really tough. And when I alluded to everybody's different, celebrating differences, but also supporting differences is really important. And one person's mental health struggles are completely different to another person's, and that's why when friends, family, strangers like approach you with a challenge, especially a mental health challenge, it should never be underestimated, because you don't know where that can lead to, where that's come from. So for me, having not only people that I can trust, but also people that can just listen and be not necessarily a place to offload your challenges and obstacles and feelings and fears and traumas, but just people that are able to guide you through some of those challenges is so important. And I've got people around me that are able to do that, coaches and people that have been around me all my life that kind of know me. And that's so important. It is so important because, as we know, especially with mental health, it's not always those quiet individuals that have those challenges and obstacles. And
there's a powerful advert in there of
the Norwich City one, yeah, I've seen that, yeah, and it is really powerful, and I think it resonates for a lot of kind of people I know of my age, not just men and women, people of all sexualities, religions, differences, challenges, have those moments. And I think we're all naive to say we don't have those mental health challenges, because we all do. And it's going back to having those tools to be able to support that process and actually to say it's okay, which is really important, because if we don't say it's okay, then it's those layers of anxiety, depression, self-destruction, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of all those things.
Yeah,
I've struggled with mental health still. I wouldn't say every day, but it's always there.
Yeah, and you have it in your life though, don't you? Where kind of one thing happens, and it's like just a domino effect of, like, it might be just a small thing, like you might just, I don't know, drop something at home, then you get in the car, you drive too fast, you get a speeding ticket, you tell somebody to fuck off, and then they put something on social media, he's a bellend, and something, then all of a sudden, like, Richard White as a bellend has now been dropped by his corporate sponsor. He then goes home and his missus is left in, the kids don't want him anymore, and all of a sudden, just from that, he dropped a plate on the floor.
I've been learning to fly helicopter.
Oh, nice.
Doing a PPLH, and I've just literally passed my 9th exam. I've been telling everyone. And but I didn't know exactly what you just said there. I was told by my instructor the other day about the Swiss cheese analogy.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that before. Yeah. It's the combination. It's not the one speeding ticket. It's the fact they're all lined up and then straight through the hole. And I've realised in that moment he said that to me, literally in the last 2 weeks, I was like, that in my life has happened loads. Where that's the combined things. Yeah. But then it's made me fucking anxious as fuck to do anything wrong, make any mistakes. I'm always so fucking routine, structured, and paranoid of then doing anything.
And I think we need to all understand that it's a learning process. When you're in that vulnerable space of like, I'm not sure about this at the moment. That's when you learn most about yourself, and that's why they say when athletes don't achieve their goals and ambitions, that's when they learn more about themselves, the structures, the people around them. Because they're in that vulnerable learning space, and when you win or successful, you've just delivered a process that you've been efficient with, or.
But interesting. See, people say to me, "Oh, but Ben, the Ironman, you should go out and do that." I've passed the pilot exams in like 2 months, and people are like, "That's mad that you've just locked in and done that." I just think like it's just who I am.
Yeah.
Just me. I'm like, I don't know any other mode apart from fucking on.
You could probably pick up a guitar and then learn to play guitar in 2 months. Yeah,
I think I could do anything.
yeah.
Not because I think I'm better.
But you
than anyone
can
else.
though, and those are the kind of traits that we should all have.
But then I was called an artist my entire life because I think I'm special. Because my mum, I always tell the story, Lion King, when Simba gets held up. That's what my mum did to me in my childhood. And obviously I was different, and I was told I was special. And Benjamin, you should tell people you're special. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll tell you that I'm smarter than you then.
Yeah.
I was told I should do that. To see, you could challenge authority, do this, do this.
Yeah,
No one told me the caveat of like, don't do that to people's face because they don't like it when you say that.
yeah.
So like I didn't learn that piece.
No.
Of course I've been arrogant. I've been successful. I've done things that are good.
Yeah.
So then I'd tell people about my gold medal moment, and then people don't want to hear about it.
No.
And then you get told to like have. I was a kid till 7, didn't really speak. I didn't speak at all. And then so they said I was quiet. Said I was this. Said I was that. So then I started talking. Then they said I didn't stop talking.
Yeah.
Then they said this, and then they said that. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. When you're getting those mixed messages, it's really hard to dial into who you are for sure. I think. When you've got such a strong physical difference, it's then hard to dig yourself out that hole. I think that's a real challenge for people with disabilities. Then the opposite of that is this kind of where you're having to protest and have to shout really loud, which then kind of in some cases really does like the opposite effect.
Yeah.
And I've definitely had to navigate some of those relationships with people in authority to influence. And that's what I want to do now. I want to be that influence, that positive influence. And sometimes you have to accommodate your messaging to different kinds of people, which maybe you shouldn't have to.
But effective communication is
For
effective,
sure.
and that depends on who you're talking to.
Exactly, yeah, and also that's such a great skill. Like if you're able to talk to 5-year-olds, and then so with my line of work, I'm going into primary schools, secondary schools, all the way through to like last week I was in Barcelona. I did a business management seminar for business managers across the Nissan company, and there are people from like Thailand and Brazil and States. And then the next day, I'm in a school talking to 5-year-olds about like having golden moments and what they look like and celebrating difference. And
what is the difference between a 5-year-old looking up at you and then Karen from Nissan?
Yeah, so the 5-year-olds are obviously a lot more honest, for sure. For sure, a lot more honest. If you're talking shit, they will tell you. Like kids would tell you you're talking shit. Where I think that CEO will always try and find something like golden from that shit, like polish a turd. They're like, oh yeah, I know
opportunity for learning.
I know you're talking bollocks, but that's it. I'm sure it's good bollocks. But I think also it challenged me because my structure is very similar. But so I go into a room and an environment, and I always go in early because I've got my structure and I've got what I want to say and I've got how I want to deliver it and I've got my takeaways. But then I want to experience the room and the energy in the room, and from that energy, that's then how I'll develop my flow of my talk and how I communicate, the language I'll speak, whether it's jovial or jokey, or whether it's very serious, or whether it's very kind of storytelling. So obviously for young people and kids, it's about kind of very relative to kind of their experiences in life and storytelling, paint that picture for them. And it's very similar for CEOs, but in a respect of what do they want out of this chat and talk? Is it that they want to implement something with themselves or their performance team, which is really important, because I think my whole message around what I do in my life is people want to change the world, right? But if you don't change yourself first, you'll never be able to have an impact on the world. And that's it.
I think people don't understand. I completely agree. I think people don't understand how difficult things really are to achieve.
Yeah.
You said about being selfish, about the sacrifice. Yeah. What else do they expect to be able to achieve?
Like the layers, like if I sat down with somebody and they said to me, how did you win that Paralympic gold medal? I'd be there for about a week.
Mm.
From all the challenges, all the obstacles, to going in the gym lifting 250 kilos deadlifting, and how I got to that stage, and all the kind of commitment I had, and all the challenges, and all the kind everything. It is so hard.
But then could you distill that? Because I completely agree. But I also think there are, like you said, about resilience and determination traits, where if you boil them down, have you read the book Attributes by Rich Devaney?
Maybe.
He is a former Navy SEAL who put together the dev group SEAL Team 6.
Okay,
So
I've heard it.
I think it's 25, and I'll butcher it, attributes, and they put them into categories.
Yeah.
So the best that you can teach a skill.
Yeah.
When it's developed, you have to attributes you have to develop.
Yeah. Attitude over ability kind of thing.
Yeah. And then sort of talking about the difference between attitude, skill, and then where attributes and their definition fall in.
Yeah.
Because they said, he opens it up talking about how when they take people into SEAL Team 6 dev group, 50% fail. Which you think, he said, that sounds normal, right? 50% of people don't get in.
Yeah.
This is 50% of people who are already a tier 1 operators. So
They're already at that stage.
These are people who are highly decorated, best in their world guys.
Yeah,
and still 50% not good enough. How do you explain that to people? And so we had to come up with this concept, and we had to do this stuff. And when he explains about this attributes part, I was like, it makes sense in every aspect. He said, but the good attributes to be a nurse are different to the good attributes to be.
Yeah, and I struggle to find people that have got the same drive and commitment to myself, and that's something that I struggle, because I find people that say the right thing but don't do it.
Oh, that fucking drives me nuts.
Or that they're just not passionate as I am, or not driven. And they don't have the same energy.
Does it make you angry?
I get quite disappointed in people.
Angry then?
Yeah. I get quite disappointed. And then when I get angry, I go for a run and then try and smash out a good session. I used to go in the gym and
I hate it when people don't do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
In the exact way. And I always clarify what people mean, because I often used to take people wrong. So I mean, what do you mean by 6? Do you mean 6 like 6 or like
7-6 or 5-6?
Well, no.
Yeah, or 2-6. Yeah.
Like someone was here the other week, literally last week on Thursday, and he said, I've got a kettlebell gym. And I was like, I'll do a kettlebells tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. He's like, no way, this guy's going to turn up. I was like, we were ready. My team turned up. We were ready to go film the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't ever say anything I don't mean. Why would anyone say anything they don't mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand that concept.
Yeah.
So, but I have realised, when we got older, wiser, that people just don't want it like you do. And I can't change
and also success as well. I think we need to talk about what the kind of success looks like, because it does look completely different from person to person. But what success about, kind of like, do you want it because you need to pay your bills, or do you want it for yourself, or do you want it for your family, or do you want it to make a difference? Or I think people just don't understand what success is, and especially young people. It's like, because they're so governed by technology, and the people that they see, and they only see the good things, and that's success, because that person's got 1 million followers, that person's got 10 billion in the bank, but they're not happy, and it's all fake, because it's in Dubai and they're renting all those cars and all that shit, and people don't. That's why some of those gold medal moments at the Olympics and Paralympics, they can gravitate to that, because they see it. They see
real.
Yeah, they see it, and that's why when I've got my gold medal, I take it around the schools and let people like hold it and touch it and wear it and whatever. Because yes, that's my moment, but it's also their moment as well. And it, like you say, and it's real. They see the video, it's real. They can put that kind of that's what success is.
One of my friends, Rich, who I did the Ironman stuff with, who got me into it, I met him in the changing rooms, and he was like, you should do this thing. I was like, what the hell's that? Couldn't swim more than 40 meters, never ridden a road bike, couldn't run more than 5K. I thought, sure, how difficult could it be?
Yeah.
Obviously, turns out fucking quite difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? Yeah.
But he said, when we finished it, he said, you can't fake your way around that.
Yeah.
You'll be found out.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going for a right tough time in my life when I first started training out. David Goggins, I was listening to him every time I run, just shouting abuse. And I did feel not good enough. Probably, obviously, still feel to a point not. That's what we're running from, I think, all the time. Well. Driven and pulled by these insane amounts of drive, which you're talking about also.
And I think we all are different kinds of leaders. And I'm probably not a leader that would be. I'm not really a shouty person. I'm really a this is what I do. Like this year, like 20 marathons all over the world. It's like, and I've turned up at every one of them. Like 9 out of the 12 that I've done so far have under 3 hours. Whether it's like Miami, Dubai, Rome.
Is that a normal? I mean, I've got no idea
no.
of a
Like
normal
2.
time for a.
Like
Is there a
you
difference
normally
between-
do like 2 marathons a year, and
Wow.
I'm doing 20.
Fuck, 20.
Yeah, 20. I've done 12 up to now.
That's more than one a month.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
Obviously.
it's yeah, because I started at the end of January, and then I finished my 100th marathon ever will be on the 2nd of November. It's literally in 10 months, so it's really 2 a month. In April, I did 5. There were 5 weekends in April. I did 1 every weekend, all over the world.
I say that is obviously mental and all over the world. But then I was thinking back to the Ironman training. I would have said I thought it was ridiculous. And I was like, I was now biking 8 hours in one day.
The human body is something that we can unlock some incredible kind of feats from the human body. And you don't, like people that are listening, people that are watching today, you don't need to be able to run a marathon to achieve fantastic things in your life. We set ourselves limitations instead of goals and aspirations. That's the real problem. And the hardest thing for anybody isn't running a marathon, isn't doing an Ironman. It's getting out the front door with that commitment going, I want to do something for myself.
That's literally why I was proper suicidal at the time I started the Ironman training. Every day was a fucking right struggle. So it was really, if I could get up and go out the door, more likely not to kill myself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I limped around where I was living at the time. Like,
Just, and there's so many people out there that have had loads of life experiences, maybe within our age group, and they're kind of going, I've done as much as I can do. And that's kind of the reason why when that retirement question comes to me, I'm always kind of batting it off, because you never retire. You never retire from being you, do you?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
But I don't think this is work either. Like, I'm just me doing my thing.
Yeah,
I try and probably tailor myself a little bit, because I think probably people will be upset.
But you're always learning though. It's like I was saying to you before about a sponge. Like, we're all sponges in life, and you continue to have those moments. Whether it's that moment for me chatting to that guy, that homeless guy, or whether it's another moment that I've had with some of the humanitarian work, those little moments always add like experience, memories, value to who you are, and you're always learning about yourself. And sometimes you kind of go, oh, I feel this, and you go, well, why do I feel that bad about that area of life? And then for me, it's about me challenging it. So I'll be like, let's look up why I feel like that about that kind of circumstance. And
but curious, naturally curious, you want to find out why.
Yeah.
And people are afraid, right? They're afraid to look, because what's the fucking answer going to show?
Yeah, for sure. And also about yourself as well. And I've definitely, like, if you met me at 21 to now, because a lot of people, what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. No, I am a million times different. I'm not the same. Like, you know, when you'll meet somebody like that, you say, I remember you when you were at school. Totally different. I'm totally different. I was shy, never used to be front of the class. I was quite sporty, but quite sporty to what I am now. I think I know what I want now, where I didn't know anything when I was younger. I know that I've been given a card in life, and I'm going to try and maximize that. But I also know that that there's so much more we need to do. And whether it's talking to yourself or your colleagues or somebody that I meet on the way to the car, that might transform my life. So why wouldn't to kind of maximize that opportunity?
So speaking of that exact thing, obviously I didn't actually have this plan today at all. I didn't actually know all of what was happening today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming in and speaking the way you do. You said before we started about you've done the routine before the podcast.
Yeah.
Has this been different from what?
Yeah, no, it's been great. No, I think it's really reflective. I think we all need to have reflections in life and in time, and it's just nice to have an open, transparent, genuine conversation, and obviously learn about your circumstance as well and your journey. And when you've got that kind of, when you've got that opportunity where it's not just one way, it then becomes more authentic for sure.
I didn't have this choreographed before Game On, but you said about people always asking you for something. Obviously, we just asked you to come on because
they've got no legs. You need it's diversity.
I'm not saying anything.
Like, let's get him on. He's got no legs.
Shameless PR.
Yes.
But I would like to give something back to you. You mentioned doing a lot of work and outreach and trying to promote. If me/the company sponsored / produce your podcast complimentary, would you do something?
Yeah,
like that?
no, I would do. I'm looking for a platform for sure to be able to, like I say, to reach those hard to reach individuals that need support, guidance, and help, but also kind of start that process of providing with people with those tools that they can have those takeaways every time that they hear me talk or hear the podcast talk for sure. And I think obviously what you've done here, obviously just seeing obviously that the format as I just walked in, is clearly something that you're really passionate about. You want to do it the right way, having the right kind of people around you that like also that buy into the process is important.
So I started my podcast, like To the Heart of It podcast, a couple of years ago, and I was going through the sort of back end of the worst parts.
And did you use that for yourself as well, for a platform for yourself to?
I started to transcribe the audio. Cause I'm not a writer, dyslexic style, struggled like that. So I wanted to talk the stories.
Yeah.
So I was telling the stories to a friend of mine, and we were like, you know what, people probably want to listen to this. In their arrogance. And the book's not released, and it's still being worked on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cathartic as fuck to like start reflecting on times in my life and looking at the timeline and when was that happening? Because I was there, so and I'm not lying, but that does seem like that was the same month as that thing. And how does that make sense? And you realise like fucking hell, that was in the same fucking month. Like that was like
well, time's irrelevant in that case, isn't it? Because you've got so much going on.
Yeah, mad. And so then I started a podcast and realised to create the sort of quality that we were doing with the trailers, like Stephen Bartlett style trailers that Ant Smith, his Diary of a CEO trailer maker, was talking about. I was like, there's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And a lot of time. And I was like, well, there's got to be some sort of software tool that can help. Like just all the repetitive stuff. So I started to get some developers to make some stuff. And that was a slope, which led to a studio, a software company that we're building.
Yeah.
And then sets that we built here to test all these theories.
Yeah.
To piece together, I want to put podcast booths in every single WeWork as the car park, like an Amazon locker. Everywhere. This piece of hardware here we're building, we've got a car that's a Mercedes V-Class that's got a twinkly roof, jet seats, conversion. It's also got 4 4K cameras in and a rack in the back.
Okay, nice.
To try and like promote what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Back to that, everyone having a voice. I've had a different life in many ways. And I think there's such a massive opportunity for underprivileged, overprivileged people, individuals, any fucker who wants to go and tap their fucking contact list, go in and record a thing, and then not be, the files, editing, what about that? What about, there's solutions that that should be available.
Yeah. And I think in the past, the facilitation of a platform like yourself has been like out of reach for a lot of people, and like you say, voices wise, it's been really hard for those individuals to be heard. And within my sector, as in just talking disability, obviously sometimes you've got a mobility issue, but also economic issue as well as everything else. And because getting out your front door is so hard for anybody that has those anxieties, depression, etc. But if you've got a disability as well, everything's got a cost to it. A physical cost, an emotional cost, financial cost. And if you've got a disability as well, it's really tough. But no, that'd be good. I'll give you my details on that.
No, I really appreciate you coming on.
No, it's been a good conversation for sure.